And as usual, we have a question of the day. So our question of the day tonight is, what are the top 3 brand names or companies you buy from regularly? And tell us why. You can use the chat, or if you would like to, you can go ahead and raise your hand and you can answer the question. Again, the question of the day. Think about this. You might not have to think about it too hard, but what are the top 3 brands or companies that you shop to regularly, or you purchase from regularly, and why? Why do you shop at those brands on a regular basis? Anyone want to answer the question? Okay, I'm seeing some in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to read some of the answers I'm seeing so far. I'm seeing Amazon. Okay. And I'm also seeing Shein, Children's Place. Okay. All right. So we're seeing Walmart, Stop and Shop. Anyone else want to respond to the question? You can either raise your hand to speak, or you can place them in the chat. So again, the question is, what are the top 3 brand names or companies you buy from regularly and why? So I know that everyone's starting to put their answers in the chat, but why? Why are you shopping at Amazon? Why are you shopping at TJ Maxx? Why do you shop regularly at Walmart? What does it for you? Anyone like to speak on that? Okay, I'm seeing in the chat so far, I shop there because it's convenient and I don't have to leave my house. Okay. I see you, Sophie. And Devon, are you going to respond?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I shop at Amazon to support my vision.
Okay, would you mind elaborating on that?
Sure. I buy books off of Amazon because it's convenient instead of going out to drive to a Barnes and Noble.
Okay, so you shop at Amazon for convenience, and you are
education also.
Investing in your education. Okay, and knowledge. Oh, awesome.
I was going to say, how does the sport support the vision? I was waiting for the vision part.
I buy books to help support my vision, which is not only to own my own production company, but also to start my own film studio.
Thank you, sir.
You're so welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Anyone else want to answer? I see some in the chat. I'll read them after, but let's get 2 more people.
Okay, I'll go. What did I put? Amazon, Walmart, and Stop and Shop. Walmart, when it comes to like the stuff needing for the children, is cheaper sometimes than other places would be. Target's one too. I forgot to put that. Amazon, of course, for convenience, because they literally have everything that you can think of. So if I don't want to go out, it's there. Stop and Shop, because it's one of the closest supermarkets to me that have better quality stuff than the other convenience stores near me.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Ruth. All right, one more person. All right.
I'll go.
Thank you, Esther.
So I picked TJ Maxx because it's because of the price. They have nice clothes there at a low cost. And I realized that when I used to love going to Kohl's. When I went back to Kohl's, I realized that their prices were more than I was willing to buy to purchase, because I've been used to going to TJ Maxx and I could get the same quality there at a cheaper price.
Okay, so same quality at a lesser price. Okay, I heard that. Well, thank you all for answering the question. The topic tonight, you'll see how it definitely weaves into it. We wanted you all to start thinking about, where you're shopping, why you're shopping there, giving yourself a little bit more thought about why you do what you do, especially when it comes to spending your money. So The next thing we want to bring up is the show of hands. Who remembers the homework from last month? If you were here. And just a reminder for the homework, we were talking about what is your product and how do you mass produce it. Mr. Brown was starting to engage in a conversation with us last month, and I'm sure he will elaborate. But getting us to start thinking about what is our actual product? What is it? Can we explain it? Can we break it down? And then also, how do you mass produce it? So did anyone do the homework?
So I was looking through the products versus the services, because both of the all the businesses I'm a part of are services based. It's not like physical products. So in the research, what I saw for this staffing, the product itself is comprehensive staffing solutions. And for the virtual assistant, it's personalized virtual assistant services. The mass production is identifying the what the unique selling points are. So for staffing, it's our expertise, it's our vetting, it's our success rates with our placements, and then it's our flexible, like we offer our services 6 different ways. And so from a mass production, it's really just being consistent with the messaging of what the products do to solve problems for our target market, and our promise to help to minimize burden. And then really it's the same with the virtual assistant because it's a service based, but the unique selling points are a little bit different. For them, it's like a personalized trained admin assigned to each client's needs, flexible packages, and confidence that they're working with a company that has an army of admins versus just one person, so they can switch and add and scale as they need to.
It's something you want to think about. You get on Vision Buildaz to build your vision, and you have to give me something to help you, and at the same time help myself. And so, those questions are important. Like so Lindsay, when you say, I don't know if I answered it right, I don't think there's a right or wrong. It's where's your understanding? That's the purpose of the question. Where are you now? What is your perception of it? And then where do we go next? So no, there's no wrong answer. So anybody who's afraid to answer because you think you have a wrong answer, you don't have a wrong answer. You have the answer that gives us, when you go to the mall and you see the whole big sign where all the stores are, that sign is useless until you find that little dot that says what?
You are here.
You are here. You have to find where you are and locate where you are to then pinpoint where you're going. If you're aiming somewhere without the point of origin, it's kind of hard to grow or scale. So there is no wrong answer. Mr. Devon, let's have it.
My product is basically writing pilots for TV and film. Like, it's very short and simple in regards of what I want to do. I can, my objective to achieve that, I already have the fade-in software. I have a few pilots already typed. I can pitch this to producers and investors that want to invest in this project or the multiple projects that I already signed or did. I can also reach out to a couple of friends who already own production companies. Maybe they want to produce my product. Maybe they won't. It's either hit or miss, but I'm always going for the hits,
How you scale it is collaboration.
Exactly.
Okay. I like it. Come on, Luxie. You were here last time.
So the product that I spoke about was music because I enjoy singing. So that's my product. And then in order to mass produce it, I think it would be getting the music out there on digital platforms, social media, advertising, social media, linking myself with other singers, musicians. That would be another way. Also, getting gigs. If I can, linking myself would allow me to get opportunities to sing, do concerts, and things of that nature. So that would be my way of mass producing my music.
Good. And just for correction, for anybody else answers the question, at which you got the second question wrong. It wasn't how do you mass produce it, it was how do you scale it. But the answers that you guys are giving are accurate. Again, you said something very important, like you said, getting out there, of course, but collaboration right now, especially in the music industry, that's very, very big. Getting on other people's products, having other people on your products, popping up in somebody else's video, even if you're not singing, just in the audience, and all of this right now, that's always big, but now more than ever, that's how people are grooming and growing, piggybacking themselves to somebody else in the industry who already has a following and getting your hands on some of their followers. So if you're doing a store or a business and it's like you are one-to-one mom and pop shop, and now you got to get to the place where you're reaching more than just the people only you can reach. You have to then be able to scale it. You have to duplicate your efforts beyond your own capabilities. And that may not be the dictionary definition of scaling, but that is in conversation. Fontaine, and I'm not trying to drag you, put you on the spot, but am I describing scaling correctly, son?
Yeah, absolutely. It's in my mind, just saying what you said a little differently, the way I think about it. It's, where are you today? Where is it you want to be tomorrow? And identifying and understanding that gap, right? The gap is the bridge. And so what are the sequence of steps that needs to be taken to move from point A to point B and then from B to C and so forth? So absolutely.
Thank you, sir. And good to have you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
So what we're going to talk about tonight then, based on that, and was there anybody else who wanted to jump in before I, jump behind the wheel and start going?
I was just going to say one thing, that before I was saying that I thought I was the product, but I actually went to a physical product. So now that we have the hair oil, just now putting that online where we can distribute it to more people and get it in front of more people's eyes for a broader audience. That's what I'm looking at to scale the products.
Now, in reference to who you are, Nelly, and looking at the way the logo was designed and how we designed the logo, you're still the product. Rihanna, if you think about it, her product is her makeup and stuff. She's made a ton of money, but she's made a ton of money because it's Rihanna's makeup. Let's just keep it 100. I'm not saying it's not a good product, it's not a great product, but nobody would even be buying the product if it wasn't Rihanna. They wouldn't know about the product as soon as they did if it wasn't Rihanna. So you are the product in some cases. You are the product. Luxie's definitely the product. In Devon's case, what he does is the product. And in the case of you and Luxie and people like you, what you're selling is the product, but you're building your brand off of your image, your face, the people knowing you. That's why we're building such a social media campaign. You are the product in that sense. So sometimes they interchange. Is that clear enough for everybody? Let's roll that beautiful bean footage and let's get into the presentation. So let's talk about identifying your audience. We talked about that, everybody, as we talked about scaling, what you comfortably alluded to and was great information was you identified the fact that your audience is the people you got to get your stuff to. Sometimes, though, you need to be more specific about how you identify your audience. Well, I just want to get my music to everybody. I just want to get my hair product to everybody who has hair. Whoever's there. No, there's a very specific audience. When Nelly does hair, her hair has been, she wants to reach a broader audience, but her hair has been people of color, right? Now, when we say natural hair now, we don't think of white folk. We think of people of color when we say natural hair. So you begin to identify your audience and you break down a niche. And what's very important about that is you got to understand, then if you target right, you don't aim at the people that are not your audience. You gear your product toward a specific audience. And the way you gear it toward them is by reaching them where they are and the way they want to be reached in the next clip where we'll start that.
Nike doesn't sell shoes, they sell motivation, inspiration, and greatness. Rolex doesn't sell watches, they sell status, luxury, and success. Coca-Cola doesn't sell soft drinks, they sell happiness, friendship, and connection. McDonald's doesn't sell burgers, they sell convenience, family, and nostalgia. Building an unforgettable brand, don't sell a product, sell an emotion.
Let's talk about what we just saw, and let me hear what you heard from that, because he made some points there. Rolex doesn't sell watches, they sell luxury, right? McDonald's doesn't sell burgers. They should say good burgers. They sell burgers and sell good burgers. But they sell that name. And for a long time, they sold specifically to children, and they sold to Ronald McDonald the Clown. They found their market, and their niche was going after kids, and they came up with the Hamburglar and all these kind of different characters to reach those children. Talk to me a little bit about what you saw there and any questions you had. Nike doesn't sell shoes. Well, Nike sells sports, they sell encouragement, but they also sell luxury, if you think about it, because the people who spend $300 and $400 on a pair of Jordans is so they can show them off and say, I got a pair of Jordans, even though they're no better than the other Nikes they have that cost a quarter of the price. So let's talk about, as he said, your product should reach the emotions of the people, not I need to sell you my shoe. Talk to me about what you saw. Let's just get that happening. And let's get some people in here jumping in, man, that's going to really make this conversation fire. Talk about what you just saw. Well, before you do, Lindsay, what's the next slide say? I want you to read the slide. You don't even have to go back to it, but read it to us.
We don't care how good you think your product is. We only care if it makes our lives better.
Take that and let's talk about that based on what they say. Because he said sell to emotion. He said he want to make our lives better. All products don't make your lives better. They don't. But they make you feel better, and they speak to your emotions. So let's talk about that.
All right. So when it comes to shoes, I mean, some shoes are very, very trendy, and it's like a fad. And it's also, it markets identity, individualism, and so on and so forth. So it's like,
let me jump in on you. You know how this is where I jump in and stuff. Individualism, if you're buying a shoe that's available for everybody,
it could be down to a specific color, to the laces, to the brand, to the price, something that would fit for them. It's not always going to work for other people, but it could fit for the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, so on and so forth. You understand?
Anybody want to jump in on that? Come on, people.
Okay, I was just gonna say, with the McDonald's, they talked about convenience, family, the way how you feel. So then they're saying it's not really about the product, it's about that feeling. So with convenience, it's easy. It may be horrible for your health, but it's still easy. It makes you feel like you got a check mark because, okay, I was busy, I didn't get to have food. Let me go to run to McDonald's. Okay, I ate, check, and let me get back to what I'm doing. It's easy and it's convenient. So that's really good to know. You're making somebody feel good. You're making it easier for them, and they'll buy your products, whether it's really helping them or not. But because they feel good, they'll buy it.
Really, if a product makes a person feel a certain way. Like if I feel like I can connect with the product, I would want to buy it. So if we're talking about just me enjoying singing and music, so as a singer, I could have a really nice voice, but that may not appeal to anybody if, let's just say, the lyrics that I'm singing or what I'm singing about really doesn't hit them. So I've heard people with lovely voices, try to make it big, but if the song that they're singing or what the type of music that they make doesn't resonate with an audience, the people around them, it may not be as effective.
Fontaine, I may pick on you a little bit, so please forgive me. You were a manager for years for McDonald's. Do you agree with what they're saying McDonald's sells?
I agree. Maybe it was 20 years ago that I was with the organization, but I was with them long enough to, just have let me take a step back. I learned more from a leadership perspective being with McDonald's than I did graduating a 4-year degree. So what they do, as an organization, they do incredibly well. So I would say yes, and for a couple of reasons. One, you touched on the development of the characters, right? And that doesn't happen in a vacuum. That's tested, out in the marketplace. They look and to get a feel for, engage via test groups, public reactions, the characters, do they resonate? If they do, why? Tell us more. And so there's this, this open feedback, and that information is used to shape not only the characters, but the way in which they're used. I think about when I had, when I ran stores, just the financial investment that was, made around building the kid playgrounds. Right. The playgrounds were, 6-figure investments, per location. It's not a thing so much today. But right. Back then, when clearly that was the vision, that was the catalyst behind, getting transactions, the resources were dedicated to it. So yeah, I agree. Visions, change, right? And whatever, the way the public is moved emotionally yesterday is not necessarily the way the public is emotionally moved today. And so you have to be Correct. Nimble enough, to recognize shifting tides, and to, whatever the catalyst, is that those, operating principles that the entity, the person is looking to, run their business by. You have to be savvy enough to recognize when it's time to change.
They had a whole Sesame Street type troop happening for a minute. And then all of a sudden, it's not about just these certain products, and kids are like out the window pretty much.
Hey, there's a lot of demographic research that's ongoing, and they're typically ahead of, the marketplace as far as recognizing trends, subtle changes, shifts. But 5 years out, we need to be prepared for A, B, and C. And so whether that's McDonald's or whether it's, where I was last, telecommunication, Comcast, they are incredibly predictive, and they're forecasting 5-10 years, out, looking to get ahead of, where the marketplace is moving, and to line resources up in advance, so that when the public, makes the shift, you're well entrenched, ready for the public and ahead of your competition.
I'm loving this conversation, and I'm glad you came on, because you can bring insight to these people, because you're not a novice at this. You're not a starting. You're not a beginning. You have some foundation, and you can answer questions and things I'm teaching all the time. And so here's a good point, right? So what he's saying to you guys, even new entrepreneurs, I don't care if you're single, what you are, he talked about forecasting. He talked about, okay, this is what the people like today, but will they like it tomorrow? Now, lucky for being a singer, I go back to it because, right, you could be working your behind off in the studio trying to make records that sound like what's hot today, and by the time you finish your album, nobody want to hear trap no more. Now you got a bunch of records you can't do nothing with. Where if you forecasting out, as you said, You're creating something. You know, I met Nelly. I said to Nelly, you can't be behind a chair for the rest of your life. There needs to be products that you're selling. You're not going to be 90 years old standing behind a chair braiding somebody's hair. There has to be something that you're creating, predicting and forecasting your future. When you're creating these business concepts and ideas, people, are you thinking about, are you forecasting out your future? Are you seeing how this can look? And I'll drop the question here at this point and open it for the floor. But I noticed as I was putting together my videos for Vision Buildaz, I saw some people that are doing stuff real funny, putting on costumes, having a good time. And I was like, yeah, I want to make some videos like that. And I stopped and thought about it. I said, dude, that's not your market. You know, you're not here to be an actor or a clown. You're here to give people insight and wisdom and direction. You can make some funny points. You can say some things, but you have to stick to what your niche is and who your audience is. And your audience growing, people coming to you who want to know about success. They want to know about wealth. We looked and did the research, as Fontaine said, and realized the videos that are getting the most views are when I talk about wealth, when I talk about success, when I talk about how you start a company. I had a conversation with Esther today. I asked her, did she know about the course? Her and Kwame both have businesses. Do they know about CTA, the Corporate Transparency Act? FinCEN. They knew nothing about it. A lot of people don't. You guys all know about it, right? That have businesses, right? I'm asking, because this is a very important question. Mr. Edwards, you know what I'm talking about when I talk about CTA and FinCEN? You see how many people don't know this? This is something that's going to smash people in the near future, because it started years ago, but they put it into law. And that means if you start a new corporation, you got 3 months to file the Corporate Transparency Act. You have to put this on book with the government so that they know who you are, who runs your business, and they want it on record. And if you don't have it on record, 30 days, I think it's 90 days after you start a new business, and any old business you have starting January 1st, they will fine you $500 a day. They're talking jail time. They're talking all kind of crazy stuff. And most people don't even know that this exists. This is a real thing. This is a real thing. So I'm saying I want to make sure that my market and my audience of people that I'm talking to, that I'm teaching things about business, real estate, things I'm doing in real estate, find your market, look out into the future, and see how what you're doing, you may not have the crew that McDonald's or Comcast has to go out and predict and do all the market research, but you can look around close enough. Following trends, they come and go, but you got to follow out the future. I'm not trying to do the latest, whatever the new, the latest dance is or the latest whatever, because in 2 weeks, nobody's going to even care about it. You're talking about identifying your audience, and you're talking about also growing with your audience. Everybody's talking about how Drake got smashed by Kendrick. They're not like us. It's like a national anthem all over the world at this point. But what makes what he did with that song so powerful and so effective on Drake? What makes it hit him so hard and affect him the way it's affecting him? Does anybody understand and know why? And this is business. This is marketing. This is advertising. Kendrick's brain did a whole bunch of stuff in this song other than just diss him. And I want to know if anybody has been paying attention to that in the angle that the guy's getting booed in his own country of Toronto, which is crazy. Why do you think this is happening? I'm going to bring the conversation to a level that you may feel more comfortable talking about. Devon got his hands all up.
For one, Kendrick Lamar has insane wordplay, and he definitely did his research when it came to breaking down Drake, from his past history to songs he made and the reputation that not everybody sees in the media.
You're right. Everything you said is right. But what do you think the sticking point is? Because we're talking about marketing and we're talking about projecting out into the future. So I'm not just trying to, let's have a conversation about the diss. But so nothing you're saying is wrong. But why do you think it's impacting so strong?
I feel like it forms some type of unity. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does.
It formed like some type of unity, saying they're not like us.
That's powerful.
It's like this unity that he created within the Black community. I feel like he just brought us all together. So now, Drake
He
going to
separated it.
concerts. Right.
You're right. Keep going.
So like when Drake is going to his concerts, it's like now we're letting you know, Drake, you're not like us. So because they were singing at him.
This is product stuff. I'm making you see something. This is product stuff. Isn't that what Apple does? You can wait 2 days later and get the phone with no line, but people will sleep outside overnight so they can get the phone because some unity has been created. And Apple is saying about Samsung and all of them, they're not like us. We're special. We're a family. We're a team. We love you. We be the first come in the door, and we're gonna all be standing outside with all the employees giving you high fives and music blasting. You understand what I'm saying? They created a community. No, what you're saying is spot on. Another thing he did. Does anybody else want to speak on that before I just keep going? Because when I'm giving you some real serious stuff to think about, there's some marketing genius inside of what he did. You nailed one of them, Ruth. That was spot on. Devon nailed another one. He said he made people see the side of him that we don't see, thereby making us disliking him. Why did they make us dislike him? Because I want you to think about this. When Drake came out and he was making the kind of songs he was making and saying the kind of lyrics he was saying, he was 19, 20 years old. He's 37, still doing the same kind of stuff. The people who liked him when they was young are moved on and got older. That means he's singing to kids now. And that's why he picked that and called him a pedophile. You going after little girls now. You got little girls, little 17, 18-year-old girls jumping up and down and screaming for you. And this is your audience. Kendrick grew up with his audience. He matured. His stuff became more powerful and more poignant as he grew. It matured with him. So he's focused on that. He said, let me point this out. You're not really one of us. You come over here to get what we have, but then you go back there. But you're still a child and you don't have a fan base that is based on maturing. You're chasing children. Now, whether that's true or not, I'm not in his camp. But here's what I know. It was true enough to the ears that heard it to make people turn at him and look at him in a powerful way, in a negative way, because he didn't go with the trend. He can't pull a record out of his stack and say, but here's something that I did was political commentary or social commentary that's very important that you should listen to. All of my stuff is not Do You Love Me, Kiki, and little girly stuff. I do have some stuff that's substantive as I've become 37 years old. These kind of things are important for a company. When you start out, there's things you can do as a baby company that you can get away with. But as you begin to mature, McDonald's stopped focusing on little kids. Fonzie said, I don't know exactly why, but they did some research and came back with the reality that we have to become something more than burgers and fries and little kids and jungle gyms. This is key to becoming successful as a business and building your brand and scaling it. Knowing what the market and your customers want. One is that last statement said, the customers don't care how good you think your product is. They care that it matters to them. I got the best thing in the world. Doesn't matter if it's the best. Last thing I'll say on this point, Microsoft and IBM had Apple smashed. And truthfully speaking, apples to apples, no pun intended, Microsoft only has about, I think they said about a fifth of the market. You wouldn't know that because the fifth that they have, they've built a core and a legacy and an alliance with that those people almost died for their stuff. They are much smaller than the PC world, but you would not know it because they've created a group and a legacy and a following that loves and believes in their product. You want to know how you scale? I just told you. You got to find your market. You got to find your niche, and then you got to drill into that niche. My music is for everybody. It is not. Not yet. Maybe one day. But today, there's a sub market. There's a sub genre. There's a little corner genre that you got to build. And once you build that, I don't care if it's staffing, I don't care if it's hair, I don't care if it's what it is. Once you find that market and you drill deep, and that market may consist of 15, 20 people, but then you say to them 15, 20 people, bring me 15, 20 people that you need. This is the biggest attendance we have so far at Vision Buildaz, and it's growing, and it's growing. Our following online is growing. Soon, you're going to get on here, and it's going to be 1,000 people on. Soon, you're going to get on here, and you have to pay. You follow what I'm saying? But this is what you do. You build your niche. You build your market. You build your brand. That's how you scale. Any questions or comments before we go to the end of these videos? I'm going to wrap it up. I'm being mindful of your time. Any comment? Sherry, you had a comment or question? Yes.
What you all are saying is very true. You all know I have a book, and Juneteenth just passed, and my cousins wanted to promote my book at an event, and they asked me to come out and because they had vendor tables all over the place, so I was going to be able to sell my book. But the thing about my book is it wasn't for that audience. It's not like a Black history type of book. So I did not feel comfortable. I wasn't able to go, but they wanted, in terms of those events, they want you to read some excerpts from your book, things of that nature. And I said, well, I just didn't think it was a good fit. So to your point, you definitely have to know who your audience is and where you think you can grow to be able to be successful.
I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. Your book was perfect for Juneteenth because Black history is what you are. You Black. There you have it. You are like us, right? You are Black. You could have picked any section from that book that spoke to your history and where you came from, and you could have pushed it from that. I wish you had called me and told me you were making that decision. I would have flew down there and shook you by the neck. But no, so here's what we learned from what you just said, my daughter. You, in those cases, you have to find a way to make what you have fit the niches that exist. Find something about it that speaks to the situation that you're in and make it fit. Because right there in that space, you could have touched, again, you could have drilled in and caught 10 people that started the ball rolling. Powerful about scaling, Fontaine said it, is being able to see and understand, and the word I like to use is pivot. You need to be able to get on that toe and switch to the next direction. So what does your book have to do with Black history? Well, I'm Black, and I'm telling my history, and that's Black history. And you go right in there, and you talk about it, and you talk about what history means to you. And I remember when I was young, and stories I heard, and it inspired me when I wrote this book. And I can think about Black authors from back in the day who started like me, and so here I and Black history it is. You found your space in it. It's things. All things are relevant. If they're saying McDonald's doesn't sell hamburgers, they sell happiness. Well, it's a hamburger. So they found a way to make a hamburger mean happiness. Rolex don't sell watches, they sell luxury and of course show off. The ability to say, I got something you don't. Status symbol. It's a watch. They found a way to fit it into that category of, yeah, it's a watch, but it's better than your watch. If you listen and pay attention to everything I'm saying, I know I keep going back to Kendrick Lamar. The key to success on luxury brands is always they not like us. BMW had commercials like that. The ultimate driving machine. No car drives like a BMW. That's why I say his marketing genius in that was perfect. It was Coca-Cola versus Pepsi. They not like us. We're the better burger. We're the better soda. Everybody who builds a brand big, that's why he's affected the whole world. That line, that saying, we're the better. Nothing beats us. Nothing compares to us. Nothing's like us. Well, you don't make a better burger than this person. Yeah, but we make a way much better experience. We make you feel Chick-fil-A. That you got to come in, he got to smile and treat you like this and and they said, listen, we don't have the best this, we don't have the best money in marketing, we don't do commercials on TV every day, but when people come in our store, they go out and talk about, if you want that experience, you go there. And they built a successful chain on, this is how we're going to greet people when they come in the door. I don't care what kind of mood you in, cramps, whatever you got. You better smile and say hi to these people, and you better make these people feel welcome, or you ain't going to have a job. This is branding. And this is how you build a brand.
Gucci sells luxury, not clothes.
Mercedes.
Sells status, not cars.
Apple.
Sells exclusivity, not technology.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We talked about that. What's the lesson?
The biggest companies sell feelings, not products.
I hope you're listening to this. You see the points reiterated again? Sherry, your book was Juneteenth. It's Black History Month. It's dramatic story time. It's influences and how people affected your life. It's how you affected people's life. It's about your struggle. What about we want people to talk about their hardships. You got all of that. All that's covered in there. You find that market and you drill it.
Luxury brands do not target the rich with their products. Rather, they go for the wallets of those who want to look rich. These people aren't necessarily wealthy, but can afford to splurge on expensive items, even if it means stretching their budgets. Luxury brands also target people with self-esteem issues. For example, luxury car brands like Bentley target young men who want to have status by owning or being associated with expensive stuff. Luxury brands also toy with people's psychology. They understand that people will readily purchase authentic products, even if they are offered a similar product, albeit generic. From childhood, we are conditioned to always want the authentic thing, so we'd rather spend more to get a brand product than less for a similar generic product.
I did not want to end without this. Targeting, marketing, branding. All this time you would think that luxury brands target rich. They do not. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. I don't know if you ever saw that picture that was on Facebook. I have it saved on one of my screens. It's Warren Buffett and Bill Gates standing together, and it says 192 billion between them, and not one Gucci belt in sight. They both were standing there and closed it like they took it right off the Walmart shelf. And so luxury brands, when I realized this, I changed my whole approach to things years ago. Luxury brands do not target rich people. They don't care about that. They target people who want to feel like they're important. It's a status thing. I won't buy any jeans other than Wranglers. I pay $14 to $19 for a pair of jeans, and I will not buy a luxury brand a pair of jeans or anything else. The shirt I have on right here, the shirt is probably something I got from Walmart. I don't believe in spending a bunch of money trying to impress other people that I have what I don't have. But they market that way because they know there are more people that need to feel rich than there are people that are rich. And people that are rich don't need to feel rich, so they don't go out and buy things to look rich when they are rich. You buy things to look rich when you're not rich. And this is the point they made. So he's explaining it to you. He's explaining it to you. They said, well, somebody said to me when I was talking about so long ago, yo, you drive a BMW. I said, one, I bought a certified pre-owned. Two, I bought it years older than it was, and I paid less for it than you probably would pay for a brand new Kia, because that's the way I do things. I like the look and I like the feel, because these are what people do when I do business with them. But for me, I drive my Ford Flex just as comfortably as I drive the BMW 7. It doesn't matter. I'm about making money, and I'm about trying to take my money and make my money pregnant so it can make me more money. And that comes down to a branding. So let's take this home. Lindsay, now when I say to you, no, I don't want to go to this event. No, I don't want to be a part of this. No, that's not what I want to be a part of. No, I don't want to hang around these people because I never realized it before. It goes against my branding. My branding says, this is where I need to be, and these are the kind of people I need to be around, and these are the kind of conversations I need to have, and I don't want to be here because it's not my brand. Got it? Develop your brand. You get known for your brand, and you begin to build from your brand. Your brand ain't worse than mine. It's just that you know your brand and I know mine. People understand that. You guys have a product, whether the product is just you or something tangible. When somebody tries to get you, invest in this, invest in that. If you just put this much and this much and that and Bitcoin and this, that, and I've learned some about that. They're trying to sell you their hype. You need to develop your own brand, whatever that is, be it you or your product, and then you need to drill down and find your audience. And the key to your success is always going to be in something that you can control if you really want to be an entrepreneur and grow something. I'm not trying to run around and stick my hand in a bunch of people's pockets or people's dreams and visions like I used to. I am very, very, very committed to something that I have my hand in and I can build. And if you want to build it with me, or you got something phenomenal that I can build with you, that's fine. But I don't want to be so hyped. I want to know that what you have is a real vision that you want to build and that it's scalable. Any closing remarks or questions?
I was going to say first, thank you. I think this conversation and even the topic made me think a lot about what I invest in, what I purchase, and then also how what I do taps into people's emotions. I knew it, but then I really started to think about what you said. And I'm like, okay, this is the service that I provide. It really is emotional. And I speak to people's emotions. So that's why they keep coming back and they keep wanting to engage in what I'm producing. So that was really great. Thank you for just pointing that out. Sometimes you know you can do something, but then you don't realize exactly how you're doing it and how it affects people, and breaking it down really helped me see that today.
Well, I want to thank you guys for your time. And let's keep growing this thing. We're doing it. We're doing it, and we're doing it well. You ready? Let's grow.
Thank you, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody next month for our August meeting. And remember, it's going to be the last Wednesday of the month. And let me just go ahead and put that. You know what? You're going to get the correspondence. I don't even need to give you the date. It's going to come in your email. It's going to come in your text messages. So be on the lookout for it. And we'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.